Good morning, sourdough fans. I just wanted to talk to you for a minute and remind you that I am a sourdough novice, amateur as well. I still have no clue what I'm doing, but I just felt it on my heart to come and talk with you guys because I'm getting a lot of questions, which I am not opposed to. Please send me questions. I'll do my best to answer them, but you need to know I don't really have a clue what I'm talking about when it comes to sourdough. I do know that when I started researching sourdough back, not this summer, but last summer, not this past summer, but 2022, I got very easily overwhelmed by a lot of information that's out there because everyone who does sourdough does it differently, and everyone who does sourdough thinks that their method is the right way, including me, okay? Because that method works for me. But the one thing you really need to understand about sourdough is that you are going to figure it out. Season, what temperature works best for your sourdough. You're going to learn how often you need to feed her, when exactly she's hungry. You're just going to get comfortable with your sourdough the more that you work with her. You're going to learn that she's probably not as fussy as you think she is. And like for me, this is a fallen sourdough. I only started using this band at Christmas time when my sister gave me this beautiful little jar and set. I do not keep up with whether she's doubled. I just do that by eyesight. I don't keep up with when was the last time I fed her. I'm pretty sure it was today might be the third day since the last time I fed her. So I've got to feed her today. I might actually turn around and use this for bread today, and someone on the internet who makes sourdough better than me is going to say, I've lost my mind, that's not going to be a good loaf of bread. And guess what? It is going to be good. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be fine. You're also going to try 1,000 different recipes. A few of them are going to be good. Many of them are going to be a disaster. You're going to feel like you're wasting flour. One thing you noobs are going to be doing is you're going to have 15 jars of sourdough starter on your countertops or in your refrigerator, or a massive jar in your refrigerator collecting discard because you can't for the life of you think of actually trashing, because you shouldn't put it down your drain, that discard. But what are you going to do with it? So if you're not going to use it, seriously, throw it away, compost it, give it to your chickens. They love sourdough, by the way, and it gets all over them and it stays for days and it's hilarious. Anyway, but do something with it, okay? So make crackers, I don't know, just do something with it. You don't need 15 jars of sourdough starter everywhere. Just know that probably your first 1 or 2 loaves of bread are not going to be that great. They're going to be super dense. You're going to think this is terrible bread. Keep going. The more you learn your sourdough, the better your recipes are going to be. Share with y'all my little sourdough cheat that I have. This is literally how I started with sourdough, and it's never let me down. And so I want to share it with you guys. Yes, getting ready to do something with my dough, you got to prepare yourself. Wash your hands, take your jewelry off. In fact, I'm just going to come out with a sweater. Put your hair up, it's going down. So here's my cheat. If I have a sourdough day, sourdough does take a long time. If you're making an artisan loaf, I usually start those at night so they can do their long bulk ferment overnight, and then I bake it in the morning. If I want a sandwich sourdough loaf for dinner tonight, I will make it in the morning. I mean, it's almost 1 o'clock now, so this is why the cheat is going to help me. I'll make it in the morning and then have it baked before dinner, or right around dinner. This is my cheat. It's yeast. Yeah, so does that make my bread not sourdough bread? Yes and no. Still has sourdough in it, but also I started with sourdough because it just happened to be one of the recipes I stumbled across online, and I was like, that one looks interesting enough, and it did have yeast in it. And so anyway, this is how I got really comfortable making a sourdough sandwich loaf. In the beginning of my sourdough journey, I got really good at it before I went to taking the yeast out and allowing my sandwich sourdough loaf to ferment overnight, and I would bake it in the morning. So I would start it sometime around dinner, do all the things in my recipe, which I can link in here later, and then let it bulk ferment overnight. And first thing in the morning when I wake up, as I'm having my coffee, my bread is baking. So this is that same recipe, but there's 2 versions. This is the yeast version, and then that's when I need it really quickly, same day. And then there's the no yeast version, which I let it bulk ferment overnight and bake it in the morning. And so anyway, this is how I've got good at baking bread, and you're going to get there too, I promise.